I've said it before, I'll say it again, you can't have Christmas without holly, can you? And keeping the Christmas theme going, Mr. Christmas Jumper is now in the studio. Matt Small from Aico, thank you for dressing to impress today, sir. I did my bit, I thought I was alone, so good to see you, thanks for popping in.
Good to see you too, gents.
It's been quite a year for Aico, hasn't it? Crowned Company of the Year for a second time. But at the moment, there's festive things galore going on at your place.
It is. It's incredibly festive at the moment. So we've got a school in this morning. So I was just telling you earlier. So for the past sort of 2 weeks, we've been having sort of local primary schools in. So we've got our auditorium. It's great to see it, given a different use. So we contacted all the local schools and said, do you want to play sort of a Christmas film? Bring children down. It's effectively it's a cinema in Oswestry, and sadly we don't have one anymore. My desk's just above the auditorium, and I was sat there working away the other day, and all I could hear was sort of the opening to sort of Home Alone, where they're running through the airport. So it was quite surreal, sat there having that pumping out.
So you don't get to watch the film, but at least you hear the
soundtrack.
soundtrack.
No, we don't. Yeah, so I know the soundtrack off by heart now.
So the youngsters have been able to choose the films they wanted to show.
Yes, so there are several sort of Christmas films that we put out, and they get to choose which one.
But a key part of Aico is what you do in the community anyway, isn't it? So this isn't just a Christmas thing.
It's not. No, yeah. So I mean, with the Christmas theme, I mean, we have got Oswestry Food Bank in, so they've been with us for about 2 weeks. So they're assembling food hampers for those who need them. So that's fantastic. So our flexible meeting room at the moment is just full of food, and there's volunteers from the food bank assembling those for dispatch. We'll start seeing them go out the door in the next week.
And how are your chickens? Are they laying in this temperature?
The chickens are wrapped up at the moment. Yeah, so we've got them wrapped up because of the bird flu. Yeah, they're still laying. So obviously we've had to discard a few eggs the last couple of days because they're probably frozen. But no, they're doing well. So.
And talking of doing well, I mean the business as a whole. Just tell us about Aico's progress.
Again, it's been a fantastic year. I mean, we're incredibly lucky with the business that we're in. I mean, it's legislated. So through COVID, where a number of organisations, sadly, the business declined. We had that one sort of quarter where the business tailed off. Effectively stopped, but the business wasn't lost. It concertinaed into the back half of the year when things sort of came back online. And this year's just really sort of picked off, where we left off last year and ramped up. So it's been another record-breaking year. We surpassed last year's number. We surpassed our target. So yeah, it's been great. We've had things like the Scottish legislation that had been running for the last couple of years. That's come to an end. There's just been the carbon monoxide and smoke regulations for England and Wales, which sort of started around about October and will continue. December would be Wales, so that will continue into next year, which has been phenomenal. We've gone from producing tens of thousands of units to hundreds of thousands of units a month. It's been incredible.
There's always, you've got to keep half an eye on what the government, what legislation and what European Union and everybody is talking about, haven't you, I guess, and then disseminating that out to your distributors and your partners.
Indeed. I mean another product that we launched last year would be our environmental sensors. So in September, so we launched our HomeLink solution, and with things like net zero, condensation, damp and mold, indoor air quality, it's a product of its time, and we're getting a lot of requests. There's a lot of pilots that are turning into full rollout. So for next year, the HomeLink solution will be one to watch.
How far ahead do you look as a business? With the
we have to. We have to. Obviously, we've got a product roadmap. So we're looking, at our core business, which previously would have been, the carbon monoxide alarms and the smoke alarms. Technology and data is always evolving. So we've gone from merely just sending interconnection information, wirelessly, to actually sending real data. And now we've got a data science team at HomeLink in Bristol who are actually taking all of that data and providing insights to people that are looking after buildings, whether they're residences, whether they're hospitals, whether they're schools, can take that information and feed those insights back to the people that have to look after these buildings and these premises, and to actually invest in the future, make these things more energy efficient, safer, and technology enabled care will be another area that we look at. So we have a crisis. There's not enough hospital beds. People are they want to spend their time at home, but they want to be safe. So, I mean,
That's a
effectively,
massive growth area, that then, isn't it?
it will be.
It
Will be, yeah. So that's something that we're actively looking at.
Is data a big area then? You mentioned about that. Is that a growth area?
Data is. I mean, data weaves itself into many different areas. As I said, previously it was via, it was interconnection. The data that we used was that. But compliance is a really, really big area. And as I said, with HomeLink, what we're looking at things like how quickly properties lose temperature. So you take that piece of information, you look at the temperature outside of the property. You can pinpoint things like, well, is that home not insulated efficiently? Are the residents perhaps not heating their homes? Is there fuel poverty issues? So you've there obviously there's lots of different uses for that information, and different people within the same organisation have different wants and needs for that information. So whereas before we'd go into one organisation where we'd speak to just the smoke alarm person, or just the gas person, or just the maintenance person, we're now speaking to the health and safety people, the compliance people, the technology people, the data people, the net zero people. Then it goes on and on and on. So those calls becoming quite complex, which has actually seen us expand. So we've gone from sort of 20 external sales team 2 years ago to we were at 29 now. So yeah,
but I guess as a result of that, people then one conversation leads to another, and people realise a possibility or a use or a practical solution for something that they hadn't even considered was possible. Then,
absolutely. And previously our core focus has been the home. And this solution is going into schools, it's going into hospitals, because they all need to look at indoor air quality.
Do you think that's something people are considering more now then?
I think so. It's obviously very prevalent in the news. As I said, we mentioned net zero. People are very conscious of their impact on the environment and ways in which that we need to reduce it. We've set these ambitious targets and deadlines to achieve net zero by 2030. We have to do something, but it starts with data. The very first step is actually looking at where we are and then making sort of key targets as to what we're going to do this year, what we're going to do next year, and a pathway as to how we're going to get there.
Now, you and I have been bumping into one another in various parts of the county for the last few weeks, haven't we?
We have indeed.
On this Business Growth Roadshow, which was part of a collaboration with Shropshire Chamber of Commerce. Talk a bit about that and the thinking behind it and how it all went.
Yeah, so I mean, it came, as a conversation between Neil, our MD, yourself, Carl, and Richard at the Chamber, and what we wanted to do was to effectively create a roadshow where it wasn't just Shrewsbury centric, it wasn't just Telford centric, where we could get organisations from all over Shropshire to come and to hear us talk about some of the challenges that we've faced over the years, and to talk about how we've overcome them, but not only from an Aico perspective, the other challenges, the challenges that businesses are facing, be that banking, be that legality, be that recruitment, various other things, financial, so there are some fantastic organisations across Shropshire, so it was really good opportunity to partner with them and get them to come and share some of their genius, if you like. And we sort of started in Oswestry, and we finished in Shrewsbury a couple of weeks ago now, I think it was, Carl. But we sort of mixed it, so we were conscious that breakfast morning wasn't for everyone, but then an evening meeting wasn't for everyone either. So we had a couple of breakfast meetings, a couple of lunchtime meetings, and a couple of sessions after work. So
we had breakfast in a brewery, we had lunchtime in a cinema, we had evenings in a hotel, and a couple of manufacturing premises. Your own theatre kicked it all off as well. So I think that was part of the beauty of it. The thing I took away from it, though, is that so many different businesses, size and sector, it's quite clear, all have the same issues that they're all trying to overcome, don't they?
Yeah, they do, definitely, yeah. So, I mean, recruitment, is a key one. Hiring staff, retaining staff. Obviously, that landscape's changed massively. You've got things like remote working, and hearing how people have sort of overcome, those situations. I think Neve gave a brilliant talk about sort of bank holidays. Like this year, we've had 2 additional bank holidays. Next year, we'll have another one.
Yeah.
And how the contractual impacts of that upon businesses. So it's good to hear these things and things that you might not necessarily have thought of. So yeah, it was really good.
So what's Christmas like for you and for Aico then? Is it a quiet time, a busy time?
It's incredibly busy at the moment. December always seems to be, we're chasing that year-end number down. We don't stop until we break, but fortunately we do stop at Christmas time. So we'll break up on the 23rd and return on the 3rd. So it's 10 days. Time to go home and
Charge the batteries.
Recharge the batteries, have a bit of wine, too much turkey, bit of Christmas pudding, and then return on the 3rd. But it's nice to have that time to stop, to reflect, and January comes, we go again. And last year's done, this year's done. We're focusing on 2023, and we'll go again.
And you can go home and watch the films you've only heard for the last couple of days.
That's it, definitely, yeah.
Thank you for coming in. Great to
Thank
see
you.
you. Have a great Christmas, and we'll catch up again, no doubt, in the new year.
Thanks, gents.
We'll take a little break now. I think it's high time we cracked open the beers in a minute, Chris, don't you think?
It might be.
See you in a minute.